Hello everyone, and welcome today to this quick dive into this insane 25 move checkmate composition for white pieces here. And this position is much important because it's a very simple position, although it may sound to be very difficult, a mate in 25 composition. But what my motive behind this particular session is that to encourage that calculations may not every time be difficult. Sometimes calculations are pretty simple. So, we should not be afraid to calculate any number of moves, because a lot of times, as in this case, the calculations are pretty forced. So, forced calculations reduce the number of possibilities at each and every, you know, point in that complete calculation phase. So yeah, this question is a very nice example of that particular thing. I have still a couple of more questions that I can discuss, but in today's this quick dive part of this entire webinar, I will cover this particular position for all of you guys. So yeah, this is, as you can see, it's white to play. White has a nice attacking position. White is down some material. It's down two pieces. So whatever white needs to do is completely forced, because if you can't allow any time for black. Black has a immediate threat of queen d1 check, followed with checkmating ideas like king a2, queen c2 check, c2 check, and queen b2 checkmate. So as white, you don't have any time to waste here. So what should we do as white here? So the entire composition starts first with a forcing move. Of course, the only forcing move that white has here is rook captures on g8 with a check. There is nothing else. If you play queen f5, just queen f6 blocks the check, also threatens checkmate, and practically then you have nothing to save yourself. So everything starts with rook with a check. You have king captures on g8, again forced. As I already told you guys, this puzzle is much more forceful calculations than to actually calculate. So now again, any forcing move, it's rook h8 with a check. You have to again capture. There is no escape for the king, so king captures on h8. Queen to h5 with a check. Now involving the queen into the attack. King to g8, queen to h7 with a check. Only move, king to f8. Now again, only move to check is queen to h8 with a check. King cannot go to f7, so king to e7. Queen to g7 with a check, continuing with the check. Again, king e8, queen f7 is a nice little checkmate. So king to e6, only move. And now how do you do the proceedings? Again, you have only one check, queen to f7 with a check. So again, the king cannot go anywhere. The pieces are so well placed to block the king, as you can say. King to e5, now comes queen to f5 with a check. The king again has nowhere to go, so king to d4, queen to e4 contending with a check, king to c3. And here is the first point where actually you need to calculate a little. So what do you do? Should you again suppress the king more, but allowing the king in the d file will also allow the interventions with the queen in future checks? So well, you should not do that. So the correct check here is queen c2 with the check. Again, the king can go back. We will see that is the main line. If the king goes to b4, then simply queen to c4 with a check. King a5 and queen a4 will be a nice little immediate checkmate. So again, you can't go that way. So you have to go here. Now again, only two more checks. Again, if you go here, then that is what we did. So we don't need to repeat the patterns. We go queen c4 with a check, king to e5, queen to e4 with a check. Now this is not the immediate what you can say repetition. You have changed the order of checks. So king to f6, queen to f7, queen to f5 with a check. Sorry. Again, if you go to e7, that is a checkmate. So you have no choice of going there. You have to go back to g7, and now comes queen to f7 with a check. Again, if you go to king h8, queen h7 will be a nice little checkmate. So king to h6. And what do you do? I mean, a lot of players can try g5 check, but this is not going to help. You have very less amount of pieces that are attacking. Currently, your only pawn and queen are participating in the attack, so you need to involve some more pieces. So queen to h7 with a check, king to g5, and now comes h4 with a check. Again, the king has to go to f6. A very important thing to keep in mind that you cannot keep on circulating with the check like queen h5, king f6, queen f5, king g7. This is nothing. I mean, it's making no progress at all, right? So you need to do something different. So queen to h7 with a check, king to g5. Now comes h4 with a check, king to f6. Again, queen to f7 with a check. Only check possible. You cannot go here with a check because that allows a lot of things. Again, he can play king e5 after queen g7, queen f6 blocks the checks, and whatever checks you have to give with the white queen are to be immediate checks. I mean, you should not leave any squares in between the black king and the white queen. So queen f7 with a check, king e5, queen to f5 with a check, king d4. And you guys may ask me, what are you doing? You just did all this stuff, coming to c2, then going to c4 and repeating the pattern. So what's the difference? I mean, queen e4 check, king c3, you are doing the same thing. Again, king b4 is not possible, so king d4 is the only force move for black. But what's the difference? Well, the difference is now when we repeat the pattern, queen c4, king e5, at the end of the line, the king has not escaped square on g5. So that is what it is. Queen e4 with the check, king to f6, queen f5 with the check. Again, king e7 leads to immediate checkmate, so king to g7 only move. Queen to f7 with the check, you can get checkmated on h8 also, and also now on king h6, because now the pawn on h4 guards the g5 square. Queen h7 here is a nice little checkmate. So yeah, again, all of these moves are forced, so there's nothing much to think about it. But it's very important to understand the position that we want at the end, and the pieces placement of the opponent's pieces that we want, and also the placement of your queen for the checks, so that the opponent pieces doesn't intervene or interpose. Because interposing pieces leads to simplification, and in this position, if anywhere white would have simplification, that would have been better only for black, because black is up two rooks and a piece. So yeah, insane combo. I mean, when I saw this first time, it was a very exciting thing. I mean, it kind of looks like a king's dance right from the beginning. This is just crazy. This is just as good as it gets. So first sacrificing the rook, then just checking forcefully, putting the king in the center again, involving the king right to c3, pushing the king. Again, this variation is one of the lines which could have happened, but the main line doesn't involve that. The main line involves going back, and then you push the king, sorry, all the way back to h6, then to g5, provoke h4 with the check, and repeat the same pattern as we can just see quickly. Not king e7, king to g7, and this is how the game will end. H4 with a check, king to f6, and now we repeat the entire pattern. Uh, Queen to f7 check, king to e5 check here, and it is just best. I mean, after this, uh, you have to go back. There's nothing else. So yeah, that was a good puzzle. I hope you guys enjoy it. I have some more puzzles like these, because these sound really difficult, but they are not as difficult as they sound, because the calculations are much more simpler. So I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Again, subscribe to our channel for more such stuff, and see you guys again in the next quick dive, which I will take for the tactical opportunities in one of the tournaments played in 2024.